Okay. Hello, fellow Guerrilla Feminists. I'm just getting into my second cup of coffee. Good morning, or afternoon, or evening, depending upon the part of the world that you're in. As you can see by my unkempt hair, I'm not exactly at the full force of the day just yet. So if my words are not fully formed, please bear with me. Okay, so I'm making this video because I think that a certain amount of my vector is misconstrued. And on top of that, I have enough to say that I really feel like just putting a video out there is the best thing to do. My issue, the reason I posted on the post that was put up about men, what are you going to do about rape culture, basically, isn't that I don't think men have a responsibility, obviously. And it isn't that I don't think that I don't have a responsibility, because I have been in several altercations in the middle of the night, granted, not the smartest thing to do, about this very self-same issue. Not many, because, as it may not be a surprise to you, men who do this sort of thing tend to do it within the windows and the pockets of places where it's not visible. Even out in the open, they do it between the cracks, so to speak. So that's not the issue. The issue of men being responsible, at least by half, if not by more, for patriarchy and rape culture and the culture of sexual entitlement is of course also not the issue, because that's paramount to addressing those issues, is accepting one's own responsibility. That's not the issue. I'm not crying poor me. I live a good life. I'm relatively comfortable and safe. I mean, I'm not a big guy, but people generally leave me alone. And I'm not upset that people are upset about this, because I'm upset about this. So, why did I feel the need to comment? Why did I feel the need to make several comments afterwards to try and explain where I'm coming from? This is the issue. Feminism is still a dirty word. Okay? Changing that is part of my life goals, and it's probably part of yours. Making feminism endemic to the heart of mainstream culture, particularly with men, is one of my personal goals. Probably one of yours too. One of the issues as a male feminist that I come up against is in spaces like this, like the Guerrilla Feminist page and others. Everyday Feminism is another one on Facebook, incidentally. Is that when issues which create indignation and righteous anger come up, every now and then the phrasing leads to the type of conversation which is the one that we're having, which is like, what are men going to do about this? Now, men do have to do something about this. But in order to get men to do it, we need to get them in the camp. Now, this isn't a very popular opinion, and granted, I am a blue-eyed white man who's heteronormative, so you might not like what I have to say, because it may come off as privileged, which, you know, obviously it is. I'm a man of privilege. But this is something I need to say to you, because I think we're on the same page, okay? So just, if you hear what I'm saying, just hear what I'm saying within the context of we're on the same page, all right? I may be wrong, I am often. In order to get men into the camp, which is something that I do on a daily basis, incidentally, we need to make it safe for them to kind of ease into it. Because, you know, feminism is portrayed as an angry women-only issue. And so when issues of women's anger come up like this, and the whole narrative is such that it looks like women are blaming and mad at men, it makes it fucking impossible to get men in the fucking camp. And that's the issue. Because in order to change this, we need more men on the Guerrilla Feminist page. We need more men who are feminists. We need more men who understand what patriarchy is, who understand what misogyny really is, who understand what the implicit part in it is. But in order to do that, we need to make them feel welcome. Now, I know, oh, here's another blue-eyed white man saying, oh, we need to make them feel welcome. Yes, we need to make them feel welcome, because those are the people that are going to change it. Because those are the people with the power. In order to get them on our side, we need to, like, it's not like we can't address the issues and, even within our own community, address it when people are acting inappropriately or with privilege or saying things that are inadvertently misogynist. I say inadvertent because they weren't aware of it, that kind of thing. I mean, people certainly feel comfortable to do that with me, and I feel comfortable to talk about it. But I have noticed that a lot of several of the recriminations and criticisms that I have received were like not about anything that I was saying. They were like, oh, well, yeah, you just don't want to take responsibility. It's like, no, that's not the fucking point. The point is that in order to change this type of conversation, the one that we're having right now, and it arose out of this other conversation, is getting in the way. And in order to step back a second and be like, okay, well, how can we frame it? Look, it's not pleasant, okay? I'm not saying that the anger that's being expressed, which some of it is being expressed at me, isn't real and it isn't justified. What I'm saying is that phrasing it in a way that makes it hostile for the very men we wish to change, or their friends, or their friends' friends, to enter into the conversation, who would be our allies, is counterproductive. And I see it all the time, and it's frustrating to me because I want to change it. I live in Scotland right now, okay? Not the best for a feminist dialectic ingrained in the culture, let me tell you. So when I talk to men who are otherwise good men and considerate and caring, sometimes I have to be real gentle with them in terms of explaining what feminism is, and it isn't just angry lesbians in combat boots. Angry lesbians in combat boots, some of my best friends. I can't believe I just said that. Yes, I can, because I thought it was funny. It wasn't funny. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, Harona, what's up? Yeah, like, they don't understand that this is just about real life, regular stuff. And in order to make them understand, we need to make them feel welcome. That's half the fucking population. And look, I understand your anger is reasonable. I'm angry about it. But the way that we're going about it is just getting in our own way. And as a straight white dude, I happen to know that because I see it get in my way when I want to have this conversation. Everyone just assumes like, oh, well, you know, the same old fucking dialect like it's 1972 when we're at like a NOW convention. Which my mother was, by the way. So, you know, cool, whatever. But the point is, we can't do this. It's unacceptable. Not because it's wrong, but because it's counterproductive to getting people to becoming feminists or acknowledging that they're feminists, because they don't understand that all it really means is, when I want to talk to someone about feminism, I say like, well, here are 2 questions for you, okay? I think I might have stole this from the GF page. I probably did. Do you believe that women are human beings? Yes, no. Do you believe that human beings are all equal? Yes, no. And sometimes people do like stupid cheeky answers. I'm like, yeah, whatever, shut the fuck up. You get the point. And that gets the ball rolling, because that's really all it's about, essentially. Like, oh, why can't we just talk about humanism? It's like, well, there's nothing wrong with talking about humanism, but this is a specific secular humanist issue. It can be a spiritual religious issue, but within the context of general humanism, this is a way of doing it, because it's half the population is women. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. The point is, in order to have those conversations, we need to make people feel safe and welcome into something that they have been trained to feel hostile towards and to feel hostile towards them. And so when it actually looks hostile, it gets in the way. And the very conversation we want to have with other men is, how are we going to approach the culture of sexual entitlement? It's endemic to all of Christendom. Well, doing it by just yelling and being mad at men, which is how it reads. That's how it reads. I'm sorry. That's how it reads. That's not to say that the anger isn't real and justified, and that the conversation isn't valid. But in order to get men to come in and talk to us about it, we need to not do what we're doing. And that's what I'm trying to get at. I don't think that anybody on the page is not justified in their anger, myself included, about this, you know, sexual entitlement and sexual harassment. But in order to get men to come into this space, we do need to make it feel comfortable for them. Safe, at least, you know, so that when we have to, you know, disentangle and deconstruct their implicit mechanisms of entitlement and repression, we can do it in a safe space. You can't take the battleship into the port if you're shooting at it. It just doesn't work, okay? And that's what we're trying to do. And this may be not the most comfortable thing to hear from another white dude, but it's my truth, okay? And I'm trying to do the same thing that you're doing. So please understand that if I'm telling you something that seems unpleasant, that's where I'm coming from, okay? Peace and love, and I really appreciate you just hearing me out for 10 minutes now, if you listen to this shit. So thank you, okay? Look, we can talk about this later, but I appreciate your help.